History often hides its darkest truths not in the grand events, but in the details. The Nazi era is one of the most documented periods of the 20th century, with countless photographs, films, and testimonies capturing its horrors. Yet even with this overwhelming record, there remain images that continue to unsettle us. Some appear ordinary at first glance, showing soldiers, rallies, or street scenes. But when experts zoom in, when the grain of the photograph is studied closely, chilling discoveries emerge. One particular Nazi-era photo, preserved in an archive for decades, has recently shocked historians and the public alike. It revealed something terrifying that had gone unnoticed for years, a reminder that the darkest truths often hide in plain sight. The photograph in question was taken in the early 1940s, during the height of Nazi power. It was part of a collection stored in a European archive, cataloged and largely forgotten. The picture seemed ordinary when viewed at a distance. A group of Nazi officers posing in front of a government building, uniforms crisp, expressions stern. There is nothing unusual at first sight, just another reminder of a regime that left its shadow over the world. But when researchers used digital technology to zoom in and enhance the photo, they noticed something strange in the background. A small detail, barely visible, shifted the entire meaning of the image. The detail was not in the officers themselves, but behind them, in a dark corner near the edge of the building. When magnified, it revealed the faint figure of a child pressed against the wall. The expression on the child's face is one of pure terror, wide eyes staring directly at the camera. The child was not supposed to be there. No records mention children in this area. The officers show no sign of acknowledging the figure. Yet the camera captured that silent witness to history. What makes the discovery terrifying is not only the presence of the child, but what it suggests. That child was likely a prisoner, caught in a moment that should never have been seen. The image is not a staged display of power, but an unintentional glimpse into the cruelty that existed just beyond the edges of propaganda. Historians who studied the photo believe it was taken outside a building that later served as a headquarters for deportations. This was where Jews, Romani people, and political prisoners were processed before being sent to camps. The officers posed proudly for the camera, symbols of authority. Yet the presence of the child in the background exposes the reality behind the facade. It is a reminder that every Nazi display of order and strength was built on hidden suffering, and sometimes that suffering accidentally slipped into view. The photograph, in its enlarged form, becomes a symbol of how propaganda can never fully erase truth. The truth is always there if one dares to look closely enough. What unsettles researchers most is that this photograph circulated for years without anyone noticing the child. Countless eyes had passed over it, accepting the image as just another relic of Nazi documentation. Only when technology allowed the grain to be enhanced did the detail emerge. This raises uncomfortable questions. How many other photographs from that era contain hidden details we have overlooked? How many silent witnesses are locked inside these frozen images, waiting to be discovered? The terrifying truth is that history may be far more personal, far more immediate than we realize. Behind the uniforms and parades are human faces, often desperate, often pleading, caught forever in black and white. Some experts have speculated about the identity of the child. Was it a prisoner trying to escape notice? Was it a servant or local resident forced into the background of official photographs? The most likely explanation is that the child was among those detained at the site, accidentally caught by the camera. The terror in the child's eyes, the way the small hands press against the stone wall, suggests desperation rather than chance. What makes the image even more chilling is the possibility that this child's fate was sealed not long after the photo was taken. We may be looking at one of the last surviving traces of a life that was soon extinguished in the machinery of genocide. The discovery has sparked intense debate among historians. Some argue that the photograph proves how propaganda often failed to fully hide the truth. Others believe it is a reminder of how ordinary people, even children, were trapped in the midst of unimaginable brutality. There are also those who suggest that photographs like this one carry an almost supernatural weight. The idea is that the camera, intended to glorify power, instead became a witness to suffering, capturing fragments that no one intended to preserve. Whether by accident or fate, the child's image survived where countless voices were silenced. The terrifying aspect is not just the presence of the child, but the indifference of the officers in the foreground. They smile faintly, stand proudly, and display their authority, all while an image of fear stares out from behind them. This juxtaposition is what makes the photograph so powerful. It shows the banality of evil, the way cruelty can exist alongside normalcy, unnoticed or ignored. The child's presence breaks the illusion of order, exposing the brutality that underpinned every Nazi action. In that moment, the photograph ceases to be propaganda. It becomes evidence. There is also a deeper lesson here about the role of images in history. We often assume that photographs capture reality, but they are also selective, framed, and manipulated. The Nazis themselves used photography extensively to promote their ideology, carefully staging scenes to show power and unity. Yet no matter how controlled an image may be, reality has a way of leaking through. The child in the background is proof of that. It is a reminder that truth resists erasure, even when buried under layers of lies. This is what makes the discovery so terrifying and so important. It is a warning that even in times of overwhelming propaganda, the human reality is always there, waiting to be uncovered. The photograph has since been studied not only by historians, but also by psychologists and philosophers. Some see it as a symbol of trauma, a representation of how victims are often silenced and pushed to the margins, yet still present. Others interpret it as a metaphor for collective memory, the idea that society often overlooks uncomfortable truths until they are forced into the light. Whatever interpretation one chooses, the effect of the image is undeniable. Once you see the child, you cannot unsee it. The photograph changes forever. It becomes not just a record of the past, but a haunting encounter with it. The story of this photograph also connects to a broader reality about Nazi documentation. Many photographs from the era are deceptive. Some were staged to show unity, while others were censored to remove evidence of atrocities. Yet countless images also survive that accidentally reveal what the regime tried to hide. People in the background, gestures of fear, or glimpses of brutality sometimes slip past the censors. When we zoom into these forgotten corners, we often find the most powerful truths. The Nazi-era photo with the hidden child is just one example of how history speaks through details. What makes this discovery particularly terrifying is that it is not unique. Similar findings have emerged from other archives. In some images, prisoners appear faintly in the background of Nazi celebrations. In others, hidden symbols carved into walls can be seen when the photos are enhanced. Each discovery is a reminder that history is layered, and the surface rarely tells the whole story. The terrifying reality is that suffering was always there, just beyond the edge of what propaganda wanted us to see. And sometimes it is captured forever by accident. If a single photograph, zoomed in and enhanced, can reveal such a haunting truth, how many more hidden stories are waiting to be uncovered? How many faces, overlooked for decades, might be staring out from old photographs, demanding recognition? The Nazi era is often studied in terms of its leaders, battles, and policies. But sometimes the most powerful evidence lies not in official documents, but in the silent gaze of a child, caught in the margins of a photograph. The terrifying truth of this discovery is not just what it tells us about the past, but what it reminds us about the present. Propaganda still exists, images are still staged, and truths are still hidden in plain sight. The child in the Nazi-era photo reminds us to look closer, to question what we see, and to never accept appearances without searching for the reality behind them. It is a lesson that is as urgent today as it was then. In the end, the photograph is both a haunting relic and a symbol of resilience. The child may have been silenced, but the image survives, forcing us to confront the brutality of history. It is terrifying because it reminds us that evil often hides behind ordinary faces in ordinary images. But it is also powerful because it proves that truth cannot be erased forever. Even the smallest detail can shatter the illusion, revealing the humanity that propaganda sought to destroy. What was once just another Nazi propaganda photo is now a haunting piece of evidence. A simple zoom-in transformed it into one of the most terrifying images of the era. It is a reminder that history is never static. It is alive, waiting to be rediscovered, waiting to speak again through the cracks of memory. And sometimes when we dare to look closer, it leaves us speechless.